The Sigma 24-70 f2.8 has very quickly become my go-to lens for 90% of the things that I do. And I've gone for the Mark 1 as well, not the Mark 2, the 4-year-old version. That might surprise you.
Maybe it's for a reason, but for the moment I've been told.
If you're interested as to why I went for the Mark 1 over the new Mark 2, you can pick this up fairly cheaply second hand now, and there wasn't a big enough of a difference for me that I would have noticed by going for the Mark II over this one. I'm going to get more into that in detail a little bit later on though. First up, the 24-70 focal range is just so versatile, and I spend most of my time shooting, whether it's photography or video, at around about 35 to 50 millimeters. So this lens obviously covers that absolutely perfectly, but then it does give me a little bit of room either side of that to be able to go wider or slightly tighter if I need to. And the beauty about that is that I don't actually need to be changing lenses to do that now, and that's one of the main reasons why I picked up the 24-70, because I just got tired as a solo creator of changing lenses every 5 minutes. It just gets in the way. You can call it laziness if you want. I guess it kind of is a form of laziness, but it does take up time when you're switching between lenses and then you're getting everything set up, whereas if you just have a lens that can do it all, that's going to be so much more beneficial to someone like me as a solo creator. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love using prime lenses. They can give you that extra little bit of sharpness and that cleaner image quality, but sometimes you just want a solid zoom lens that can stay on your camera all of the time. And that's what the 24-70 is for me, because it is the perfect focal range, but also optically you're not really missing out on anything by using a prime lens over this, because the image quality is that good coming from it. And speaking of image quality, this lens is sharp, like really sharp. And it provides some of the sharpest looking footage and photos that I've seen from any zoom lens. I've been using it for a couple of days now pretty solidly, and I'm completely blown away by it and how close it gets to using prime lenses. And that's coming from me as someone who's not particularly into looking for sharpness and softness in images and things like that and pixel peeping, but this is super impressive. And even though it is a zoom lens, I don't feel that I'm really missing out on anything by using this instead of a prime. For those wondering about being limited to an f2.8 aperture on a zoom lens like this, that is more than enough for most things. For me in particular, because I'm very rarely shooting wide open at f1.8 or 1.4 if I had the ability to. I'd rarely shoot open at f2.8 with this as well. If I'm doing photography, typically I'm shooting around f5.6 to f11, and for a video like this I'm currently shooting at f4, so even f2.8 is more than I need for most things. But to have that aperture of f2.8 right across the focal range all the way from 24-70 is brilliant for if you do actually need that at some point. And when you combine that with the compression that you get at the more telephoto end of the range, so when you get to sort of 50 to 70, you're going to get some really nice smooth creamy bokeh, and having that really shallow depth of field if that is what you're into as well. I've never even really been put off by variable aperture lenses as well, just because of the way I shoot and the things that I create. For example, I'm using the Lumix 20-60mm lens right now, which has a variable aperture of I think 3.5 to 5.6. It's a great little lens, and the fact that it's a kit lens is amazing. That being said though, to have f2.8 across the whole focal range on a lens like this is brilliant, because it means that you've not then got to change your lighting or change your settings when you change your focal length to be able to keep the image looking the same. So that's really nice on this. I'm not too fussed that it's f2.8. I wouldn't be bothered if it was f4 all the way through, but yeah, it's nice to have a fixed aperture, although it's not essential. Now I want to talk briefly about why I went for the Mark 1, which is 4 years old, over the new Mark 2. And honestly, it just comes down to price and the fact that for me, I didn't think there was any major upgrades that I felt like I was missing out on by going for this. On the new one, the autofocus performance is a little bit quicker because it's got a new motor inside it. It's a little bit lighter, and you also get a clickable aperture ring as well around the base, which are all things that might be nice to have, but they're things that I don't really think I'm missing out on by having this over the new one. Too many times have I been dragged into buying a new bit of kit when it's not actually needed. So this time I sold a little bit of old kit to MPB and did a direct trade-in for this, which is in genuinely really good condition. I think it was rated as excellent condition on the website. Now this video isn't sponsored by MPB, I just genuinely think it is a brilliant service, and every single time I've used it they've never let me down, and this time they even upgraded my valuation when they received the kit that I sent in, because it was apparently graded slightly better than on the original quote, so I got even more money than I was expecting for my old kit. And this, because I traded in that, didn't actually cost me anything. It's great. Check out MPB, I will link it down below if you want to, and if MPB do want to sponsor a video, you know where to find me. So all in all, I'm very happy with my not new, Sigma 24-70 f2.8. It's something that I thought long and hard about starting to use this over prime lenses, but it's a decision I've not regretted at all. This lens is everything that I need in one lens. It's sharp, it provides great image quality, it covers all my favourite focal ranges, it's reliable, good autofocus, and it's really well built. Is literally everything I need in one lens, and it saves so much time over switching lenses in and out all of the time, which becomes really tedious and time consuming, and then you become lazy and you end up not doing it and missing shots because of that, blah 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 blah. Go and check it out. I would still recommend the Mark 1 over the Mark 2. It's still a great lens. Save yourself a little bit of money. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want to know more about another one of my favourite lenses, this time it is a prime lens, I recommend you go and watch this video next, and I will see you there.